Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Make Your Mark podcast. And I am super excited for our guest today because she is absolutely crushing it in the tech world. Yes, you heard me right. She's crushing it in the tech world. We have a female entrepreneur here that absolutely does amazing work when it comes to AI, when it comes to generally just in tech, right? The things that we don't like doing, we hate doing, we struggle, we have challenges. Guess what? It comes easy to her and she does it every single day of her life, right? So her name is Suze. Yes, Suze. Just Suze, right? And she is amazing. She's going to come and talk about her journey, what she does, how she helps people, and also something that she's got coming up that's going to be launching. Yeah, it's absolute magic. Suze, oh my goodness. Thank you for coming onto the show.
Thank you for having me, Kate. I'm super excited as well to be on your podcast. So thank you for having me today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, before we get into the nitty gritty of what you do and how you help people, I would love for you to share with our audience today a little bit about your journey because we all know, building a business doesn't happen just like that. We don't wake up with a full blown business. I mean, I guess a lot of us wish we did, but it doesn't
Mhm.
happen that way, right? So,
It'd be
what did
easier, right?
it would be so much easier. And so, what did that journey look like for you? Because I'm sure there were some ups and downs before you got to this point.
Oh, 100%. And I think if anyone can relate to right at the start before you even talk about your journey, I like to share it's all about the skills that you gain upon the way that get you to where
Mm.
you are now. And so that's really what I'm going to explain as I talk about how I got to where I am right now. So I studied music at university. So I have a degree in music, but I specialized in industry. So I focused on the technology side, music and computers, music and film, recording and sound production, video animation, video production. I heavily used Apple devices and I loved the difference between the creative and the technical together. And this was 25 years ago when I studied. So I graduated in 2004. And the goal for me at that time as a 21-year-old was I'm going to set up a recording studio. That did not happen in any way whatsoever. And just as the job market is as challenging now, it was just as challenging back then too. So I got a job after university, got made redundant quite quickly. So I went, screw this, and I went to Japan and I taught English out there for 4 years. So I was
Oh,
immersed in Japanese culture and I really had that turning Japanese is what kind of happened. I had a reverse culture shock when I came back and I loved what I did. So I taught people how to communicate in English. So they have conversation skills out there. So rather than learning just the grammar and how to write, they had to learn how to speak because it's very different in a way of speaking compared to it is in Japanese. So I had to learn skills to communicate in ways when I didn't speak the language, right? So I had to learn other essential skills as part of that. I had to learn how to listen effectively, how to read a room, how to understand people when they were in that space and try and communicate in different ways when I couldn't speak that language. So I'm just putting that out there just to kind of link all these dots together as I tell my story. So then when I came back to Scotland, I then got a job at Apple as a trainer at Apple. And it was fantastic because then I was able to use the skills that I learned at university through um, computers, recording and sound production, like learning how to edit videos, learning how to utilize your technology in a way to make it work for you, right? We've got to remember these are tools. The technologies are tools. They enable us to enhance our lives, right? They shouldn't take over. They enhance the human side of it in that way. So I did four
absolutely.
years at Apple, and then I went to legal corporate because I wanted to get a 9 to 5 to understand how to live that life. At Apple, it was all go all the time, so I needed a bit of separation. And they were changing the way that the company worked at that time as well, because Steve Jobs had passed away, so everything was changing at Apple as well. So I did legal corporate for 2 years, and it was there I was still getting a lot of people asking me for help with their business, with their devices, how to be creative, how to be technical,
Ah,
how to get their technology to work efficiently for them. So I did what is now called the hustle, and I did side work at the same time as learning how to set up a business whilst I was still in legal corporate. So I studied at the same time as I was working, and I learned how to manage finances. I learned how to think about, right, how do I get out of the corporate world? How do I get out of this corporate sphere and continue to help the people that are coming and asking me for help? And that's what I did. And then I landed a really great client as soon as I set up my business in 2017. And I
Wow.
was able to leave legal corporate. And then I've been running technology coaching since 2017. So we'll be 8 years old this year. And technology coaching helps small business owners tackle their tech challenges by giving them a complete digital mindset and competencies of 6 areas, which is innovation, web presence, social media marketing, cybersecurity, AI automation, and data. So they work all together. They don't work individually. So having a competency in all of them, understanding how to navigate both the physical and the digital worlds, and using the essential skills that come with that, not just the technical skills, but the essential skills, like so learning how to teamwork, communicate, collaborate, all of those
Okay.
things that we need to be able to now do when we're talking to technology in some sort of way, right? So think about the AI tools, think about these things, right? I'm holding my phone in my hand at the moment, right? We interact with these bits of technologies. You say I'm not techie as you carry a phone about with you, right? We need to learn how to interact with these more efficiently. So it's how do we communicate with these tools? How do we interact with them? We use our human skills to be able to interact with the technology. And that's what I like to do, is to help people understand that by either tackling their tech for them or teaching them the skills to be able to do it themselves. So there's a little
Oh my.
bit of the journey.
Yeah. Okay. I love that, and I love like how you switch, and you made it sound so freaking easy. One
It's
thing
been a
to
long journey. Yeah.
Okay, so one of the biggest things that comes to mind, right, is you started your business, you said 2017?
That's right. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
in technology a lot longer than that, right?
Yeah.
Technology has changed so much. How have you been able to keep up with the changes? Like, how do you do that?
You've got to feel passionate about it. So that's the one thing about anything that you do in life, is you've got to have that passion for it. Just like you're passionate about helping business owners be more visible through podcasting, in the same way, you've got to be passionate about technology if you're interested in supporting businesses with it. I'm a problem solver. That's pretty much what I like to do. I like to solve people's problems. If I can't solve it, I'm like, there's always a way. There is always a way for a solution. And I think that comes from my musical background. I think that comes from me being able to listen and be able to problem solve and be able to put things together in a different way. And I've always had that kind of skill, um, whether I've known it or not. But I do love problem solving, and technology is a quite a lot of problem solving. So you've got to
Yeah.
feel passionate about what you do. So whatever job that you're going into, whatever role that you want to do, if you're supporting anybody, you need to feel passionate about it. So how do I keep up to date? I set up alerts so that I get good alerts. I sign up to go to events so that I'm top of mind when I'm thinking about the information that I need to share to other people. You can never keep on top of the technology that's coming out. It's constantly evolving. But if you're able to understand the people that you're helping and come up with solutions for them, think holistically about it all, that's where I like to start. It's not just about the one solution, it's about giving multiple options that would work for them. There was something that we did at Apple, and it was called clear options given, right?
Okay.
So you give 3 options and you suggest the middle one. You may see this on websites, right, where you see the middle option as being the one that people buy.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you give them the ability to either say yes or no to that answer. So the way that you
Okay.
phrase it and the way that you word it is a way for them to either say yes or no to the middle option that you give them. And so what I like to
Huh.
think about is how you frame something and how you communicate something, again, which comes as part of these essential skills, right? Communication, collaboration, teamwork, that all has to be taught or trained in the same way as the technical skills on the side of it as well. So that's why I have this two sides of the brain, right? The technical and the creative side. I'm pointing to an image behind me there. That's kind of how that works, right? As part of that. But yeah, to go back to your question, get up to date to tech. You've got to follow what's happening. You've got to be passionate about it and set up some automation to be able to, so that you've got that information coming into your feed.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I hear what you're saying because with even with podcasts, things evolve constantly with podcasts.
Yeah,
Before the pandemic, who was listening to podcasts? No one. Pandemic happened, podcast came out, it was audio only. Now it's video, and now it's just getting bigger and bigger everywhere. People are listening to podcasts. And so it is about just keeping up to date and making sure that you are on your game, right?
yeah.
As the expert in that niche, you've got to be on your game for sure. Now, a lot of people might be thinking, okay, but you know what? I've heard the saying of when you're building a business, like you stick to your niche. And if your niche isn't tech, right? Like, how much of a priority should someone put into the tech side of their business when they're building their business?
So that's a great question, because the way that I like to reframe it for people is, how are you a salesperson? Are you a marketing person? Are you an HR
Mm,
person? Are you an accountant? So as a business owner, we take on those roles, or we
yeah,
put on those hats, as you say, like your marketing hat,
yeah,
your sales hat, and you have to gain those skills. You're a constant learner as a business owner. And if you're not, you're probably not in the right business to be able to do it, because you have to learn
right.
consistently as a business owner. And if you think of the tools, sorry, the technology as a tool, you can't
Mhm.
do things effectively and efficiently if you don't have the tools working for your on your
Yeah.
behalf. So having a
Mhm.
relationship with that technology, making it work
Yeah.
for you, is the way to do it. So think of it like a team member. Speak nicely to it. What do you want out of that technology? Is it working for you? No, then there's other tools that can do that for you. It's the technology
Absolutely.
should never be a challenge. It should be an enhancement to what you do. If it's a challenge, then it's not the right setup for you. And the basis
Right.
is most people are not set up. Setup is fundamental to most businesses and individuals, how they interact with technology. And the best way to start is to go into your settings across any tool that you're using and make sure that it's working for you. Another analogy that I like to use when I'm working with customers is, in your kitchen, you have
Yeah.
an oven, you have a microwave, you have a
Mhm.
dishwasher, you may have all these other types of tools to be able to help you cook a recipe. You
Right.
also need to go to the shops and buy the food, put it and store it somewhere efficiently, follow a set instructions for when you're ready to prepare that meal. You then do it step by step using the tools that are around you.
Right.
Think about your technology as part of that. Your business
Mm.
will have systems and processes. Write down what those are. See if there's a tool that will help you to be able to do those more efficiently.
I
You think
love
about it, when you relate it to food, it's become so much easier for people to understand, isn't it? Right.
it is. And even just by you said all the different appliances we have, like we're surrounded by technology on every day of our life, not just in business, right? We're
That's right.
using it constantly. So I love that. And I just want to take a step back a little bit because you mentioned talk to it, right? Like
Yeah.
understand technology. And I want to talk about AI,
Yeah. Great.
right? You said that AI came to mind. Because even with that, like you gotta make sure you train it, that it understands who you are, your voice, your business. Now there's still people, believe it or not, right? They're like, no, not doing AI, not gonna have none of that, right? Don't need to learn it, won't want to learn it, like it's too complicated, don't want to do that. What is your suggestion for someone that wants to build a business but is so opposed to AI, right? What is your
Mhm.
suggestion to people out there listening that are in that same position?
I get it. I get when something new comes out, they
Mhm.
go, God, it's another thing. It's another thing I need to do. It's another thing I
Right.
need to learn. So it's a mindset shift. It's changing the mindset to go, how do I make this work for me? Okay.
Mm,
Again, how does the technology work for my behalf. To give you an example, you can give an AI tool, so a language learning model, the data about your business, about what you do, how you do it, why you do it, who you do it for, and the process of where you want to get people to from A to B. And it will give you the answer to that in minutes, like that, because it's
Okay.
working from the data that you are giving it. So when you're thinking about implementing AI, it's going, how would I communicate that to a person? So if you had a new
Mm,
team member joining your team and you needed to give that person a set of instructions that you need them to follow in order to complete that piece of work, they need to come with their information, their past experiences, their knowledge in the background to then create possibly whatever it is that you're asking them to do. When you use an AI tool, it will only work with the data that you are giving it. So your data, if it's clean, if it's correct, if it's unbiased, if it's authentic around you and your business, then it's going to give you the best results. And the more that you feed and you teach that language learning model, the better outputs that it will give you. So you want to think about, how do you communicate? What's your best processes? Think of it like a team member that you need to skill and train, and it then becomes an automated machine for you. So it's shifting mindsets, really.
for sure. I remember a couple of years ago, me and my team, we created an AI that helped people create their own podcast pitches, right, to be a
I love
guest
it.
on, right? And we were testing it out and seeing how it worked and everything. We had to make tweaks here and there. And I remember the first part that we got, like the first draft, right? She was so rude. This AI was so rude. Like she would actually talk back to you. Right. And I'm
That's
like,
very rude.
yeah, like, how did that happen? Right? Like, where did the sass come from? Well, like, yeah, we cannot have her talking to our clients like that, right? We've got to
Mhm.
reprogram her for sure, right? But it's so interesting on when you go down that road and you're looking at AI, like how much is evolved, right? How much more it is going to evolve, because this is just a start, right? It's going to get
Just
so
to
much
start.
more deeper. And the fact that AI is not going anywhere, it's
No.
not going to disappear. It's not a fad,
No, it's the
right?
same way as the iPhone came out, what, 2006, 2007, and it's changed the way that the world works. So is
Mm,
AI. We're at this technological evolution again, where it was the
yeah,
industrial age 125 years ago. We're now in the AI revolution age. So we've kind of got no choice. And think now, people, as again, pick up my phone, people can't live without their phones. That started from an iPhone, which previously came from an iPod, which previously came from the computer and the creativity that Steve Jobs had about making a computer device a creative space, implementing the mouse, right? The mouse was the first
yeah,
function. None of that happened. People just typed previously, right? So it's the evolution,
right.
understanding the history and the evolution. People don't know that the first AI was called Eliza, and it was in 1964 was created. That was the first AI.
So what happened to her? Because it's like no one knew about it.
Nobody
Died?
knows
What
about it.
happened?
Yeah, so if you think of what happened, I don't know if you've seen the film, it's all about Alan Turing, who
Mhm.
created the decoder during World War II. So it was in a system based, I think, upon that, that decoded all the German
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
communications that were coming back and forth. So
Mhm.
AIs and technology and computer systems have been around a long, long, long time. And women have been part of that as well. They've been part of that journey and part of that story, which is not heavily advertised or spoken about as well. If you go and have a look, actually ask your AI who's created these tools. You'll look that there's a lot of women that's been part of that story and is part of that journey as well. So yeah, AI's been
Oh,
around for a long time. We just don't
yeah.
realize it now that it's built into our devices. With Apple's intelligence and it being out on the iPhone 16 and what they're looking to do next year, we're going to see a pivot again, I think, with what's happening.
Wait, what's happening next year?
Oh, they're launching more further enhancements and how it works with their Apple Intelligence, but there'll be more of that coming out. As again, it's just keeping on top of what's happening. But again, they're pivoting all the time because whatever OpenAI are doing and what Google are doing, the four big techs, you've got Apple, Amazon, you've got Apple, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, all the big tech companies, whatever's going to happen, we will see this develop. It's just a constant progress, which
Yeah,
is great. You've got to be part of it, really. And as a
absolutely.
business owner, you don't want to be left behind.
Oh, definitely. We saw that during the pandemic, right? A lot of people lost their businesses during the pandemic. We can't go through that again.
No.
So, tell me something. With the clients that you work with, what are some of the common misfalls or mistakes that you see again and again and again? What does that look like? And how can we start becoming more aware of what we need to actually do and prioritize in our business when it comes to tech?
That's a great question. A lot of the times that people come to me is when they have not thought about the full process. So they've come when
Okay.
something's gone wrong and they need to find a solution to fix it. So they don't
Right.
spend the time focusing on the entire picture of their business and how the technology is a tool to make it work better for them. And as I mentioned previously, it's usually because it's not set up effectively for them. We are not trained on technology. It's an assumed skill that we have got. It's nobody does computer in this computer language in the same way that you learn English and maths. It's like we carry
Right.
about these tools with us, this phone, and we're expected to know and understand how that works for us. In the same way, like a business, you're expected to understand how to set up and run a business. You need to learn those skills. You need to learn how to be able to make things work more efficiently. And for business owners, they usually get their information from somebody else that's got something, piece of information from somebody else or from somebody else when it comes to their technology. There's nobody
Right.
really sitting going, well, is this the right thing for you? You want to get from A to B. Does what we call your tech stack enable you to be able to do that? So think of it, the appliances in your kitchen, do they enable you to be able to cook the meal that you're trying to prepare? So when you think about it that way, you think about the infrastructure of your business and getting someone there to help and support you with what that tech infrastructure is a good starting point for your business. So there's people out there like myself, they're called CTOs, Chief Technical Officers. They are technicians in some sort, maybe not your VA route, that's your virtual assistant route, but somebody that works specifically within technology that has what I call a holistic approach that looks at the bigger picture, where you are right now, where you want to be, what the skills and processes are in your team. So if you imagine that like a Venn diagram, and that's where the
Right.
technology needs to sit because it's the user experience that's the most important, both for the
Right.
front end and the back end. So the back end being the team that are running the systems and the front end being the user experience. But as we know as business owners, the user are the heart of our business, aren't they? That's why we do what it is that we do. So if you think of user experience, what that user journey is, that goes back again, talking about your sales funnel, talking about your marketing systems. It's no different when you think about your technology and your systems. Okay, and that
I
way,
love that. That's awesome. Now, if someone's starting up, right? Because you mentioned right at the beginning, like technology comprises of so many different elements.
yeah,
So if someone is starting up, right, what is the first piece of technology they should really be focusing on um, before they kind of look into anything else and they can start implementing other pieces of technology as they grow? But what's the first number one thing that you think that should be focused on in the beginning?
great question. I like to call this your online real estate. So this is your online presence, and you want to make sure that you have claimed that presence before before anyone else has. And this becomes before you may even choose your business name. If you've chosen a business name and you go and try and look for that domain, which is the website address, what people type into if they go into Google or any web browser, if that's already taken by somebody else, it means they will not be connected to you. They'll be connected to that other business. So it's very
Right.
important when you're in that ideation stage, that innovation, that thinking of the next big idea, that you choose a name that works with your web presence. Okay, so that is your email, that is your website address, and that is your Google profile, and that is all of your social media marketing handles. And there's tools out there like Name Checker. You can go onto any domain search and you can search for these to start off with. And this is one of the first things that I do with any client, even if they're in a rebranding stage or they want to pivot and move their new products together in some sort of way, is that we look if that online real estate is available. If it's not available, we need to change the name, or we need to
Oh,
adapt the characters of the name. But if you do not have a way for people to find you, this is what we call your traffic, people coming to you on your online spaces, find me at. That is what you need to get first of all. You claim that real estate, whether or not you use it all. You might not use TikTok, but claim that real estate. You might not use X, claim that real estate. Make sure that you've got that presence that no one else can take away from you. Because, as an example, my business is called Technology Coaching. I
yeah.
couldn't get that name domain, even though I have the business registered. Somebody else had bought that domain. I know it's
Okay.
crazy, right? So we've been
Yeah.
around for 7 years, but the business is called Technology Coaching Online, which is our domain.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm,
So it's fine because I do things online and that works well. However, the business is called Technology Coaching. So it's super important when you are setting up your business to claim that real estate to start off with. Then set up your domain and set up a business email address.
right.
So many businesses use a provider, which is a public provider like Gmail, Hotmail, Live, all of the other ones that are out there. And that is against data compliance in order to do that. So it's super
Okay.
important as a business to get your domain, then get one business email that connects to that. It can be as little as £5 a year to be able to do that. Your domain can cost you little of £10 or $10 a year. It's not expensive. This is your basic infrastructure for your business, right? It's your basic setup. Not expensive, but you are then legally compliant, you're ethical, you're looking after your customers' data, and you've claimed that space that makes you more credible to your customers. Okay, you'll
Wow.
see this on a lot of vans that are driving about of tradespeople, and they'll have a Gmail account or a
Ah,
Hotmail account on their
right.
van side. And I just always want to go, get your domain or get a proper business email address, because it builds trust with your customer. It builds
Interesting.
trust. So they then believe, okay, they are a credible business. And we know from marketing, we've got to know, like, trust our customers before we buy and then refer. That's our value ladder. That's our funnel steps. So if you can build trust from the start by having your real estate, your online real estate set up, your tech infrastructure, domain, email, social handles, you are good to get started. Does that make sense?
Wow.
That's your
It
starters.
does. Oh, I love this. Okay, this is awesome. So, all right. So once you have got your domain, you've got your email, right? Basic things shouldn't take very long to get all that done. And you're saying that you need to make sure that you're on social media, like you're claiming the spotlight, like you are the expert. Now, a lot of people be like, wait, hold on a minute. No, can't do social media. Can't do social media right now, right? I'm just starting up. I don't have any of this other stuff set up. Right. How can I then go onto social media and start claiming I'm an expert when I don't have a proper business? I'm not made six figures or anything like that. That people are scared of doing social media. I hear it all the time when I talk about video podcasting. They're like, wait, I've got
Mm,
to show my face.
mhm.
you know. So, what is, I guess, how can you overcome that? Right, it's a mindset thing, right? Of putting yourself out there like an expert, but feeling like, wait, I haven't even started my business yet. I'm in the beginning stages. How do you get past that?
A lot of it again is back to that mindset shift and
Mm,
helping people understand from a business perspective. In order for people to buy from you, they need to know who you are.
Right.
You need to be visible so that they can know, like, trust, buy, and then refer you to other people. That is your funnel. So understanding digital marketing basics, really, which is your marketing
Yeah.
funnel, helps you to understand, oh, wait, hang on a minute, I need to be visible. Now, I'll give you an
Mm.
example here. Now, Facebook, before it became Meta, used to be a company that they just knew Mark Zuckerberg was the guy that created Facebook. All right. And if you remember the Cambridge Analytica scandal that happened pre-COVID, and where they were utilizing people's data and selling it, which then led Mark
Oh,
Zuckerberg to be in front of the US Congress. And
yeah.
nobody liked Mark Zuckerberg then. Everybody
Mm.
thought, no, don't like him. He didn't do very well in front of that. However,
Right.
he runs a company that there's got 2.5 billion users globally, and
Mm.
everyone can't live without that suite, that meta
Right.
suite of tools. However, but they don't like the guy that runs it. So what we've seen over the last year is this huge shift on visibility of Mark Zuckerberg. He's out surfing.
Mm.
He's out with his pals. He's out investing in the things that he's passionate about. He's showing his wife, he's showing his children, he's showing that he is a human person behind the business that is helping people to like the business
Mm.
more so that they're more likely then to invest in the product themselves. So when you shift that mindset to go, actually, I am the business, it is me, people are going
Mm.
to buy from me, then they need to know me, they need to like me, they need to trust me. So how do I do that? I put my face out there online. Now, with AI, you can do an avatar, you can do
Mm.
faceless content, and you can use somebody else. You could use a pseudonym, you can do that. And I think the way with what Instagram is leading towards, where they're going to have AI influencers out there, I'm sure you've heard about this as
Yeah.
well, that
Mm-hmm.
why are companies going to pay for influencers anymore when there's going to create their own AI influencer? And that AI influencer is going to do exactly what that is because it's given the information rather than that person that's been individual who's going to be an influencer. We're going to see a change in that, I think, over the next couple of years. Anyway, as a business owner, you want to get yourself out there online, and that comes through videos, images, and the what, when, where, why, how, and who do you help. And that's all you
Yeah.
need to do to start off with. What do you do? Who do you do it for? Why do you do it? What's your process to do it? And I call this edu-selling, right? So you're selling through education, how to, information. You want to educate, inspire, and entertain on these platforms.
Oh,
So
yeah.
take the personal out of it. Think about you're speaking to a human being, which you are because they're your customers. So talk to them. Talk to your customers. Tell them what you do, why you do it, who you do it for, and that will resonate for you. I'll give you an example. One client that I've got called the Fresh Fruit and Veg Shop. So
Okay.
they have two fruit and veg shops based in Glasgow, but they deliver all over the west of Scotland through fruit and veg boxes to the door. They run social media ads to it. They
Okay.
wanted to improve their social media presence to help the advertisement campaigns that are going out there. Again, they pivoted during COVID, so they moved to an online subscription model and run Facebook
Okay.
ads to that through COVID. He came along to a training that I had on face to camera videos, and I trained Stephen on how to use AI tools to script, to record,
Yeah. Mm.
teleprompt, and now he does daily videos on his social media that you've seen a massive increase in his subscribers, massive increase in his following, that is then increased to more sales in the back end because he's went, hang on a minute, I need to get on camera. And he's done that just by learning a few skills and learning, getting the tools to work on his behalf for it in that way as well. So
Okay.
mindset shift, knowing where your customers are and being visible is the most important part.
Yeah. And you got to be open to it, right? Because
You
I know
do.
the
Yeah.
people are like, but you're not confident and it has to be perfect, and you might spend 3 hours doing a 60-second video, right? But it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be perfect. You just got to
No,
put it out, right? And that's the
exactly.
first thing you need. and it just
There is
gets better as
no,
you do them.
exactly, there's no such thing as perfect. There's only progress. Put that on a bit
Absolutely.
of paper and put that next to your computer screen. Put that next to your mirror. Put that next to wherever you're brushing your teeth, wherever you do your hair in the morning. There's no such thing as perfect. Progress. Okay. That's all it
Yes.
is. If you're able to do something better than the day you've done it before, isn't that a win? So we've got to
Mhm.
celebrate those wins at all times. And we know as business owners, that's what we have to do all the
Yes,
time.
for
So
sure. And
remind
the thing,
yourself of that.
yes, and your audience are watching you progress. They're watching your journey. You may
Yeah,
not realize it, but there's people watching, right? And
exactly.
I remember I was speaking at an event in London, and this person, he was there, and he contacted me like a month after, right? And he goes, I was at this event that you were speaking at regards to podcasting. I was like, okay. He goes, I didn't buy from you though. So I'm like, okay. He goes, I want to go and do my homework and do my due diligence and check out, everything that you're doing. So I was like, okay. And he goes, but I wasn't interested in the videos you've been doing recently. I want to know what you were like years ago. And I was like, uh-oh, right? Because I know it wasn't good. And so I said to him, okay. He goes, so I went and checked you out on YouTube years ago. We went and checked your first video. I was like, okay, what did you think? And he goes, you were terrible, right? And I was like, yeah, I know. He goes, but now you're speaking on stages. I know I have to get coaching through you. And he became a 25K client. This
Wow.
is what it means, right? To just start because people want to see your journey and it will come back around for you, right? In
Mhm.
the future when they can see all of this. So it makes a hell of a lot of difference and you don't need to be perfect at all. Like,
No,
yeah.
not at all.
Yeah.
It's the progression, and you've just hit that nail on the head there. A 25K
Yeah.
from a person watching you on stage through your journey of that's amazing, Kay. And that just shows the importance of being visible and the importance of getting yourself out there and being real in front of your customers because they want to buy from people. And if
Absolutely.
being authentic is most important. I think in the age of AI, the more authentic that we are, the more
Yeah.
likely it is that people are going to buy from us because we're getting
Absolutely.
savvier to the AI tools. So
Yeah.
again, if people have a barrier towards the AI or this kind of avatar feel, I mean, the most authentic that we can be, the better that's going to be for our customers, I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Now, I loved having you on here, Suze. I feel like I can speak to you all day long, right? Of all sorts of different things here. But I know that you are a busy person and you got things to be getting on with, clients to be helping. So if you had last words to share with our audience that you think is really, really important that we haven't mentioned yet, what would those last words be?
To take time to tackle your tech challenges, sit
Oh,
down, write down the things that are holding you and your business back and think about ways that you can improve on them for yourself and for your customer and maybe for your family and for your business, however it is that you're working, and think about how you want to make that better. Then spend the time working on that improvement. So that might be by getting some training, that might be by investing in somebody to help with you, or cut or just breaking it down and spending the time on it is what I find a lot of business owners don't do. And as soon as
yeah.
they empower themselves by going, I'm going to get on top of this, I'm going to tackle this tech, I'm going to give and allocate myself the time to do it, then you can see the difference that that has on the growth of their business, on how they can move things forward more efficiently and effectively, how they don't feel overwhelmed and they actually can handle the things that go wrong more efficiently and effectively in that way. So I would say think
Right.
about the technology as a tool to help you to grow and develop and spend the time working on it to make it work for your behalf.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Now, Suze, a little birdie tells me that you have a little gift for everybody here.
I do, yes. So I run free Tackle Your Tech Tuesday sessions, which happen from 9 to 10 UK time every Tuesday, where business owners can come on and either just spend that time working on their tech in a supportive environment on Zoom, or they can ask questions as well. They can ask questions to myself or to the rest of the people that are on that session. Think of it like a collaborative space where you can tackle your tech challenges. So I've had people chiming in from America, I've had people chiming in from places across Europe. So they're at different time zones in that space as well. And they're getting the information that they need to stop holding themselves back. And they do it in this friendly, supportive environment with a specialist like myself there to be able to help guide that conversation as well. So this is my way of giving back to business owners by empowering them to tackle that challenge themselves, changing the mindset around it, and giving themselves that allocated time to work on their business. So every Tuesday, Tackle Your Tech Tuesdays, you can go and register directly from the website technologycoachingonline.com/Tackle Your Tech Tuesdays. That will get you registered, and join us next Tuesday for your first session and let us help you tackle your tech.
Fantastic. I love it. Oh my goodness. It was so awesome to have you on the show. Like so many golden nuggets in such a short amount of time. Like, wow. Thank you so much for coming to the show, Suze.
Thanks, Kate. It was great speaking to you, and I'll speak to you soon.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening to Make Your Mark podcast at www.makeyourmarkpodcast.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get this and every other episode that comes out. We have lots of great stuff coming, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And thank you in advance for all the reviews and comments. I appreciate it so much, and I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.